Hi, Coach John here, and welcome back to my series on how to kill the giants standing in your way of success. In our last coaching session, we uncovered the hidden motivation of the doubt giant, and we laid out 3 proven fighting strategies to prevent him from chopping the legs off of your ideas, your plans, and your goals. And I gave you a strategy to kill him where he stands. If you've missed any of the videos in the Giant Killing Coaching Series, make sure you go back and watch them so nothing will hold you back from your destiny starting this week. This Giant series is at the heart of all frustration in life or business. Kill these giants and you're on your way to your dreams. Now today we're going to meet a giant that has a very particular and specific appetite. And you've definitely battled with this giant, but it's not every day or on everything. You might even think this giant doesn't affect you, but he does. He's very subtle. Unlike the other giants, this one is very selective in his attacks. He's also very old, and warnings about him go back to biblical times. This is the giant of laziness, and his sword is mindlessness. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but Coach John, I'm not lazy. I work hard every day. I'm not standing around doing nothing. I'm not sitting around watching daytime TV. I barely have time to breathe some days. But the laziness giant has a very particular appetite. He never tries to make you lazy in everything you do. In fact, the laziness giant leaves most of the things you want to do alone. He makes you believe that by being busy and distracted, mindlessly focusing on actions rather than results, that you're actually spending your time wisely. The laziness giant's most deadly weapon, the sword that he wields against you, is the distraction of mindless busyness. And he loves to attack entrepreneurs. You know, a friend of mine owned a fitness studio a few years back, and he had some success, but he could never execute his marketing plan because he wore too many hats in his business. He would create all the workouts and healthy eating guides each week, and he would handle all of the billing. Anytime a customer had a question, they would call his cell phone directly. He was great at customer service, and at the end of each day, he would become the one-man janitorial service and clean the entire gym to prepare for the following day. And I would ask him to tell me about his marketing plan and how many new customers that he had targeted. And the answer was always the same. I don't have time to do that because I'm too busy doing X and Y and Z. And it finally dawned on me to ask him how he felt when he was busy doing all these tasks, knowing that he was neglecting the marketing plan to grow the business. And his answer was very revealing. He said, "When I'm staying busy, I feel like a proud and responsible business owner." He was working hard and he was taking action, but he was taking action on activities that didn't generate the results he needed for his business. He was doing what he knew how to do and not working on what was needed to grow the business. Crazy, right? Now, in most situations, it's about comfort. We get comfortable in our busyness. We can stay active for hours in our busyness, and it feels like we're working hard, but we're not. We're just operating in our comfort zone. Maybe you need to learn how to test your marketing ideas to know if they'll work, because digital marketing, hey, it's a whole new complexity in marketing. Or maybe you need to measure and analyze your social media activities, or learn Google Analytics to measure your website performance. Or here's a big one, how to delegate effectively or how to hire effectively so that you can focus on your highest value tasks. Learning new things is work. It takes a lot more mental energy to learn and do something new than it does to repeat something that you've already learned. And it comes with mistakes, because anytime we're learning something new, we're far more likely to make mistakes, which can be painful because they cost time and money. It's much easier to just do what you always do. This is the mindless strategy of the laziness giant, because you're not having to think, you're being mindless. Doing what you always do will continue to get you the results that you've always been getting. If you want new and better results, you got to change your game. Different activities equals different results. This is how sneaky the laziness giant is. You see, I know you're not lazy. In fact, I rarely meet anyone who's lazy, unless, of course, we look at the lowest potential in your life. This is the place where you are performing at your lowest level, where you are not learning to get better results. This is where the laziness giant lives. Now, for many people, it might be health and fitness. And for others, it might have to do with family and do things that require a different kind of work, like playing with your kids or communicating with your spouse or taking the family to church on Sunday. Or it might be doing this action items that will allow your business to thrive and grow and give you everything that you ever dreamt about, like learning how to delegate, learning how to hire. Don't let the doubt giant in and tell you you can't do it. Don't let the laziness giant tell you it's too hard. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of people before you have learned how to delegate effectively and do all of those other things, and you can too. but you can't be lazy. You got to do the work. The laziness giant attacks us at our point of greatest unrealized potential because he's been around since the beginning of time. He knows how to infiltrate your goals. He knows that if he can convince you in your mind that it won't hurt, this is your reptilian brain again, to be busy, doing what you always do, you will forget to feel the pain of neglecting the truly important things that you need to be doing until it's too late. Now, I personally believe the laziness giant is the worst enemy of the entrepreneur and the business owner. This is the giant that is hardest to kill because entrepreneurs get trapped into achieving the results that they got last week, in which case they will never achieve the results of their dreams. Got to do different things. Can't do the things that got those results last week. I hear more stories from entrepreneurs and business owners who admitted to me that the reasons they skipped out on working on their business plan was because they got caught up doing something else, binging on Netflix, mowing the lawn, filing, bookkeeping. And the way you know the laziness giant has a spear in you is when you reward yourself with mindless distractions, like Netflix, after you've had a day of busyness. Doubled up there. I hope by now I don't have to convince you any further that the laziness giant is killing your dreams, and it's time to turn the tables on him and chop his head off. So let's get into the battle plan for this giant. All right, so step number 1 is you must identify the areas in your life and or your business where you're living at your lowest potential. The areas where real focus and change can make a huge difference. And I want you to really look at every point in your life, your health, your fitness, your relationships, your family, your work, your faith, all of it. And assess the high points and the lowest points so you know exactly where to find the laziness giant. And trust me, he's there. And you need to write all of this down so you can look at it daily and feel the pain deep in your heart of where you and your family are losing out by allowing this giant to live in your life. Now remember that the laziness giant has a particular appetite. He doesn't like everything that you have to offer him. So be prepared. You're going to have to reallocate some of that time and energy that you're currently spending in certain areas of your life and business and move it to places that will move your life forward. Step number 2 is you have to kill your distractions. You know, right now in this time in history, there's never been a time with so much opportunity to be successful. If you have a cell phone, you can make money from anywhere in the world. But there's also never been a time where so much distraction exists. This step is going to be tough for many people, and I would go so far as to say that your ability to sacrifice your short-term pleasures for long-term success is what separates the winners from the losers. Short-term pleasures. On the same sheet of paper you started, step number 1, I want you to draw a square and write on top of it, enemies to my success. And in that square, I want to write down all the things that you're distracting yourself with. It could be social media, especially if you find yourself checking it mindlessly 30 times a day. It might be cleaning or organizing or some other low-value task. Maybe it's binge watching a show. For some people I know, their pets have been a distraction. And even relationships can be a big distraction if you're spending a lot of time and money on entertainment. Now for men, I can guarantee that your partner or spouse will be proud of you if you tell them your plan to better your lives and you walk through the short-term sacrifices you're going to have to make. The ones that are going to get you past this laziness giant. And if this person truly loves you and supports you, they'll be on board. And after you've compiled your list of distractions, begin to kill each of them right now. Now, I've found that social media is one of the biggest mindless distractions affecting many people. So if that's the case for you, delete for a while. Just pause, delete all of your social media apps on your phone for 6 weeks or so. Whatever you have to sacrifice, you must be fully committed 100% in order to see the fruits of those sacrifices. Got to go all the way, in for a dime, in for a dollar. Step number 3 is to start with 1. A huge mistake I've made in my life when going through this process is letting my motivation, get excited, try to make me take too big a bite. And of course, the only way to eat an entire elephant is one bite at a time. And when it comes to your list of areas where you've been living at your lowest potential, you'll be guaranteed to fail if you try to give it time and attention to everything at one time. So one thing at a time. Now, although you may be eager to make it all better, you must be strategic and knock down one domino at a time. So decide which area is top priority first. Then once you've gotten a handle on it, then move on to the next. And doing this will create a snowball effect throughout your life, and you'll experience new heights like you've never seen before, knocking these things off one at a time. And lastly, step number 4 is to eat the frog first. Eating the frog is a metaphor for doing the tasks you've been avoiding that can move your life forward in a major way. It's like you have those important action items at the bottom of your list, and once you've exhausted yourself being busy, you run out of time and energy to do those things. So switch up your strategy. Start with the most important tasks first, not the easiest, the most important. This habit requires a tremendous amount of discipline, so expect to have to lean on willpower and help, accountability. If you're not sure what those items are, go to your list, and after picking out the one area you're starting with, Write out all the actions you need to take to accomplish that goal. Now, of course, I want you to try and avoid running your day by being reactive and impulsive, so schedule out the time that you plan on eating your frog and guard that time with your life. So there you have it. 4 steps to disarming and killing the laziness giant. Now, I'll be honest, the laziness giant is a tough one to kill, but I know that you're capable. I know you want the best for yourself and your family. I believe in you, and you have to believe in yourself also. If you got any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to meet and talk with you. Thank you for spending this coaching session with me, and I look forward to killing the next giant on the next session. Make it a great day, and go get them this week. When you make the right moves in chess, you win the game. When you make the right moves in business, winning gets a lot easier. Cheers to your success.